Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Zappa. And this is the new documentary about the life and works of Frank Zappa, who is a very influential and artistic musical artist who made basically music all of his own and has been a major influence upon many people, including all the various musicians that speak during this documentary, including Steve Vai. And this is actually directed by Alex Winter from Bill and Ted, which is very interesting. And one thing I do have to say about this documentary is buckle in, because it's a 2-hour and 7-minute documentary. So a lot of documentaries I wind up watching, especially smaller scale ones, are hour and 20 minutes to maybe an hour 40. And so this one definitely goes there. And similar to Crock of Gold that I reviewed as well, that review will be coming out when that documentary comes out. These are some hefty length documentaries, and I feel like this documentary probably could have been trimmed and tightened a little bit, because you could definitely feel the length as you go through the film. But this provides a very deep look into the life and times of Frank Zappa. You get to listen to Zappa speak throughout multiple points in his career. You get a sense of the progression of his life. You hear from a lot of different people, including some clips of his own children and his wife, and you really get a sense of who this man was, what were his thoughts and beliefs, and I really appreciate some of the quieter moments of even just him walking through his record collection, this room full of these really old and rare records, including one was just Eric Clapton came to his house and it just said Clapton at home, and just that's really cool. And being somebody who loves music, this was a very interesting documentary to watch. His music in particular is, I've never really explored Frank Zappa and the Mothers' music, and it's a little bit too art house for me, personally, and a little too ambitious and abstract for my taste in music, but I do appreciate the daringness and the ambitiousness of his work. And I found this documentary very interesting, as you get to really see deep within him why his music's like this, and from others you get a great sense of who Frank Zappa was, and the influences that it had on his work, but also the influences he had on others. And it was very intriguing as this documentary went on to see him grow from just this out of the norm kind of musical artist to somebody who's talking politics and really putting his ideas out there of free speech and expression, and to the point where he was contemplating running for president against George H.W. Bush, and all these different kinds of ideas. And you really get to see that. You see the influence, and from whether they're just him talking or clips of him talking on a show, or other artists, or his family, or people who knew him talking, or just moments of him performing. This has it all. Has a lot. Might be a little too much. But in general, I think Zappa is a really intriguing character study of this person who, honestly, is a little more interesting than you might expect to be coming from, this is all true. And he was an extremely intriguing person, and ambitious musician, and had very interesting and different kinds of ideas of the world. And you really got that sense from this documentary, from start to finish, his journey. And I definitely would recommend this if you love music. If you're a big Frank Zappa fan, obviously you're going to get a ton out of this. If you just love music and want to see behind the scenes of somebody who's so ambitious and unique and experimental with music, this is definitely a documentary you're not going to want to miss. But those are my thoughts on Zappa. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.